and welcome to Catacris Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.catacris.com. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston. We're speaking with Venrez Lead Singer Ven. How you doing today, Ven?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Hope you are too.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I gotta tell you, your publicist Barbara, she sent me a link to check out the new album, which drops, I believe, this week on the 25th. So let's talk a little bit about it. It's been a few years since you've had a new album out. I was curious, how's the band been affected by COVID? Like, I imagine, like a lot of bands, you guys haven't been able to play out live too much.
Oh yeah, we got really shut down. We had an amazing tour at the last quarter, mid-October through New Year's Eve in 2019. Made a ton of noise.
Yeah.
And we were writing a lot of new songs. You know, we had a lot of record companies interested in us. And boom, March 17th, that was the end of it.
Yeah,
and it's, yes, I haven't been on stage since, basically New Year's Eve going into 2020.
Yeah, and your band's based out of LA, right?
That's correct.
And LA is one of the most strictest. I mean, even to as we speak today, they still masking kids in school. They won't lift their mask mandates. So, like, as far as touring behind the new album, you guys, what's that looking like? You're gonna just have to go to places where they're not as restrictive?
We have three major tours that were offered to us in Europe.
Oh, wow.
A few months ago, but now it's not looking very good. And we won't know what's going on over there till after March. Just about everybody's canceling. I know Aerosmith canceled their entire summer Euro tour.
Oh wow.
Although the United States is pretty wide open to tour, and a lot of bands are touring. The competition will be fierce. Even the Who has gotten back together to tour. So
one more time, yeah.
I think we have Eric Baker doing the radio promotion of the single "Show Me." He's one of the best in commercial radio and XM radio, and that will start on tomorrow.
Oh wow!
Actually.
And is there going to be a video or anything to go with that?
The video is on YouTube right now.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. And we'll post that for people to check out on our site. But you mentioned the song "Show Me." When I was prepping for an interview today and listening to the entire EP, I mean, that's a great song to kind of kick this off with. I mean, that's the first song you hear, and immediately I was just really drawn not just to the whole song, but like great bass groove kind of in that song. I mean, great track to kick it off with.
Yeah, we were just jamming one day. We brought a mobile recording studio into our rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And our bass player, Gabe Maska, just started up with that bass line. We jammed. I ad-libbed some lyrics to it, and then we put a song together from it. We were still indie when we released the video, so it's the original 3-minute and 43-minute version.
Okay.
Although the label wanted us to edit it down to 302 for radio, which we did. So the only way to hear the original 343 is the video, or see us on tour, because we'll play the full 343 version live. And actually, that video got us the record deal. So even though it's been out before we got signed, I think it's got 230 or 40,000 views already.
I mean, let's talk about the record label. That's a great little label, PAVEMENT Entertainment. I mean, they got everything from you guys, and Ted Nugent just signed with them, to Candlebox. I mean, that's what I dig about the label. It's not just like all metal. It's everything.
Yeah, Puddle of Mud. And, they have a new band blowing up, an all-girl band called Plush.
Oh, yeah.
Doing really well.
Great band, yeah.
But they're very excited about us. Thank God they came through. I was just so depressed.
Yeah.
Going into 2021, and my birthday's in January, and I thought, I didn't really know if I wanted to continue on into 2022.
Wow.
Trying to get to where we should already be a year ago. and I pretty much decided to just walk away. True story. And,
wow.
My guitar player writes the music, Jason Womback, and I write the lyrics, and he's my backing vocalist.
Wow.
We continue to write. I mean, we've got 6 or 7 records worth of material right now on top of this 6-song EP.
Yeah.
And he was coming over to put my vocal on the demo, and I dreaded all day.
Yeah.
At some point that night, I was going to tell him I'm done. And when he was bouncing it, I have a 2-bedroom place. I do all my vocals in my home studio. So he's got a desk in one section. I have my office in the other section. So as I usually do while I'm waiting, I just logged on my email, play around online. There was a record deal from Pink.
Wow.
I'm like, well, okay, some Devine Intervention. They're a great label, distributed by Sony Orchard. I'm very impressed with them. They do everything first class.
Yeah.
They're in love with our band, and they're pulling out all the bells and whistles, to help us get to where they believe we can go. And we've never had that kind of support before, so it's really nice.
Yeah, they're a great label because they really promote the hell out of their bands. And again, what I dig, if you know anything about the label, it's owned by this guy, Tim King, who's the bass player of his hardcore metal band, Soil. And so, again, you kind of think it's going to sound nothing but metal, but I guess it's like any business, whatever you think is going to sell, they got everything, like, Puddle Mudd, all those other bands we mentioned. And it's type of label that they promote the hell out of their artists, and a lot of these bands, they kind of put them out on tour together a lot of times, and and so like I could see you guys teaming up with like even Ted Nugent or somebody like that, and that'd be a great.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I would see us. Because of our sound, I think we could tour with anybody who came out over the last 50 years.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I know you've toured with everybody from Slash and Alice Cooper to Enuff Znuff. Those bands there are, different enough that, and yet you're still able to go out with them.
I think, I'd love to tour with Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
Or the Black Angels, something current. Although, something like us, Bush and Korn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Or us and, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, something like that.
See, and I think
would probably be something that would lend itself to a great show for ticket buyers.
Oh, sure. I think because of the band's overall sound. You could be categorized everything from classic rock to modern rock and everything in between. Even the 6-song EP you're putting out. It's kind of got an overall. All the songs flow great. I think. Show Me, Evil Words. That's another song I really dug, and I understand. You had a guest drummer on there, Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction. So talk about like why you wanted to have him on that particular song. What was
it wasn't really all about that. We had released 2 songs, independently prior to the deal.
Okay.
Show Me and then ATM Machine. So our drummer Victor Singer is French.
Oh, okay.
And he had drummed on those. And the issue was we got the deal in April, and at that time, France, the European Union wouldn't let any of their citizens leave the country.
Oh, okay.
And all the studios there in Paris were closed, so he couldn't even do the tracks there.
Wow.
And here in LA, there's these 3 domes downtown, and for a while, for a couple of years, they had what was called the Pink Floyd experience.
Oh, okay.
And you'd sit in these 45-degree chairs, and they do this 3D amazing thing on the inside the top of the dome. And you had a Pink Floyd cover band with the sax player Scott Page from Pink Floyd, and Stephen Perkins was the drummer, and I knew the guy promoting the show.
Wow.
So I had gone several times, and I'd hung out backstage with all of them, and I was friends with Scott Page, and Stephen Perkins and I were on good terms, but I didn't know him the same way.
Yeah.
And I had to get another drummer, so I called Scott, and I said, do you think Perk would be interested in recording with us? We got a deal, and I can't get my drummer out of France.
Wow.
And as it turned out, except for those two songs, Show Me an ATM Machine, he did the drums on the other four songs, Evil Words, Gin Fizz, Each and Every Day.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? I mean, and it wasn't even planned,
Cartoons on television. So all four of those were drummed by Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction. Yeah.
I mean, I dig that story because, first of all, like you said, it wasn't even planned. It just kind of, happened. And sometimes, like you say, the show must go on. We want to get this record out. And talk about Devine Intervention, Ven. I mean...
there you go.
I mean, can you...
I'm going to quit. I get a record deal.
Yeah.
My drummer can't come. And Stephen Perkins steps in. I think he's one of the top 3 rock drummers alive today.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
if you don't believe in Divine Intervention, I mean, it's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, God must have been listening to you because, for a simple fact, that I mean, your band's already, like you said, kind of was on the uprise, up until all this COVID stuff, and what a shame it would have been to kind of just have such a short career and end it, kind of ended on a high note, I guess, in a way. But when there's so much more of this band, like you said, you got 7 albums worth of material. I mean, just waiting for people to hear. I think, it was meant to be, as they say.
It looks that way, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, I live to tour.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get back out on stage again. It's been a tough wait from April till now.
Yeah.
With radio starting tomorrow and the album releasing on February 25th. I was so happy on New Year's Eve that we were finally saying goodbye to 2021.
I bet.
But I've never been in better shape, and my vocals never been as powerful as it is now. I've been singing.
Yeah.
I've been doing my vocal training. And for new fans and our old fans, they're going to see something real special when we hit the road. That's for sure.
Yeah, and let me ask you, because I was trying to see if they were taking pre-orders on Amazon or anything. I didn't see anything listed, so I was kind of curious when this comes out on the 25th. Is it going to be?
Well, here's what they've done. They did put "Show Me."
Okay.
It is on Apple Music.
Oh, okay.
As of 2 weeks ago. So if you have Apple Music,
you can get it.
You can hear it there, or buy it, or download it there. And then, of course, Eric Baker, who's amazing, is the radio promoter. So they'll start the radio promotion tomorrow.
Yeah.
U.S. commercial rock radio, XM, and then also different promoters will be working in the United Kingdom and mainland Europe.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And so the album's called Purgatory Awaits. That's kind of a cool title. And I was wondering, is there going to be physical copies or initially just going to be released digitally?
Oh, no, there's physical copies.
Oh.
The label shipped me 100 of them. Looks great. Nice 6-panel insert, and of course there's some great stuff in there. Stephen Perkins included in there as well. And it will be distributed physically and digitally by Sony Orchard.
Oh, cool.
So you will be able to buy it. I mean, we won't be selling it on our site.
Yeah.
We will be selling it, with our merchandise when we tour.
Oh, that's cool because I'm an old school guy. I love to still have stuff to hold in my hand and check out who played on. And you guys always got great album covers. So did somebody design a new album cover? Are you involved in the artwork at all?
Well, I usually design all the album covers.
Yeah.
There's been two exceptions. Our management is Concrete Marketing.
Okay.
Bob Chaparty. He had got somebody to design the Sell the Lie album cover. I designed all of them, and then I had designed one. I was going to call it Cartoons on Television, and Tim loved it.
Yeah.
Although when Perkins ended up drumming most of the record, management thought we should go a bit darker. Because Perkins and Alice in Chains, Jane's Addiction. So a woman named Anna Katsur from Russia actually
did that.
Designed the album cover based on what Bob Chaparty, our manager, envisioned to be on the cover.
So, you said, Stephen Perkins plays on 4 of the tracks. Is the other drummer? Is he still involved in the band, or is?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Victor Singer is. He'll be coming over on April 20th.
Oh, wow. I bet he's glad to finally be touring and getting...
Yeah, we're to rehearsal on April 21st.
Okay.
And we look to be touring in May or June. We really won't know till the second or third week of March.
Okay.
Because, management wants to see how far up the, modern active Billboard rock charts we go.
Of course, yeah.
Eric got plushed to number 3.
Oh, wow.
And he seems to think he's going to do the same thing with us. I'd be happy to crack the top 10, but, there's a big difference between cracking the top 20, the top 10, or the top 5.
Yeah.
If you crack the top 5, the gates of heaven open, so we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. You just never know, but I think it definitely got that potential. Now, as far as Pavement, like, did they kind of just reach out to you, or because you didn't send a package to them or anything for them to check out, did you?
No. I have a very dear friend who is Chip Znuff.
Oh, okay.
Enuff Znuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of Chicago, and we had done a Euro tour, Scandinavian tour with them, I think, in like 2017 or 18.
Okay, yeah.
And we became brothers.
Wow.
And actually, he went over there and saw Tim, and he said, "You really need to check this band out. They're great." And he did, and the next day I had a contract in my email. Oh,
man, how cool is that? Well, congratulations. I mean, again, Devine Intervention kind of speaks, and we want more Venrez music, so that's...
Yeah, it's like, Chip put the word out to them. A lot of bands get put in front of them that they pass on, probably most of them.
Yeah, well...
So we got lucky. They really love us. They think the EP's a masterpiece.
I mean, you guys got a great sound, and you already got kind of a fan base kind of built up, and I think, like you said, you've been down for a few years, but I think you're one of the bands people definitely want to hear something new from, and so I think this, this is very, very great time, I think, if you're a Venrez fan, because I could tell you, Ven, my only complaint, and I think this is a good thing, is listening to the 6-song EP, I thought my only complaint is I wish it was a full length, but like I get what you're saying. After 2 years, you just want to kind of get these 6 tracks out there, remind people, hey, we're still here. And I think if anything, after there are 6 great tracks, it really kind of, it seems like all these songs fit on the same album, if you know what I mean. And it leaves you wanting more, which I think is a good thing.
Well, less is more is always great, recorded or live. It was Pavement's decision. They wanted a 6-song EP.
Yeah.
We could have done a double album of 24 songs if we wanted to. But they felt it was best to start that way, and I agreed with them. And so that's, it's 23 minutes to rock your ass off.
Oh, yeah. Cartoons on television. Another great tune. I just love the title. I'm curious if you were all a cartoon fan growing up, or even still today.
No, I'm really not. Cartoon, I write lyrics, of personal experiences, lessons I want to teach, taking political stabs in government.
Yeah.
And then also releasing pain. And cartoons on television was a combination of the George Floyd riots.
Okay,
which,
I hear you.
I live in a building that faces 3rd Street here near the Grove. So the first, and I have a big sun deck on the 4th floor, so I had a front row seat to the first riot.
Wow, yeah.
So cartoons on television was a combination of the George Floyd riots, the pandemic restrictions, and government control all rolled up into one song, and that's what it's about. But I tried not to go, it is a little bit dark. We are a bit of a dark, cerebral band. There's no question.
And again, like cartoons on television, I hear that, I'm thinking, cartoons like, that I grew up on and stuff, and not even about that, but that's what I think makes a great songwriter, is that I think the bands, and the songwriters that really stand the test of time are guys like you said that write from personal experience, things they've actually lived through, and somebody listens to the song, they don't necessarily know it's about that unless they hear you talk about it. And I think that's cool too, because in this modern day where they're trying to cancel people unless you believe in what you're supposed to believe, if you know what I mean, that's a great way to get that out there, or kind of vent.
I haven't really cared before cancel culture even came in. You know, I just write the stuff.
Yeah.
It is real. It comes from my soul.
Yeah.
When I'm singing it live, you know, I'm experiencing the feelings and emotions that I did when I wrote the song. And fans, they know the difference between staged, you know, choreographed shows and the real deal. And the real deal will get you to the promised land. I've seen that over and over again with bands.
Yeah, I mean, we've all lived through it the last 2 years, but I mean, it got to a point where, like, I mean, for a while, just to get out of the house, you know, I'd go to the grocery store because you could do that. I mean, but like for a whole year, couldn't even go see a movie. You know, go to a movie theater, and they were really at risk of, like, I heard the governor talking here in California. We may be closing down all the movie theaters. The movie business may never be what it is, and even just as
they're about to drop the mask mandate for large outdoor things, basically on the Super Bowl. You know, I think, you know, you can really tour this country, pretty much all of it.
Yeah, but you know.
And you can do well, and you know, there's no more limited caps and all that kind of thing. You know, in Europe, you can still tour there, but it's very limited capacities.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to hugely cut into profit margins, and basically you're going to lose money.
Yeah.
So it's economically not sound. But I write songs, you know, you can say the same thing in very different ways.
I mean,
so I might be writing about something that no one knows about specifically because they don't know me.
Yeah.
But it's a subject matter they relate to, and I tend to, you know, I try to deliver messages that people relate to in a way they've never heard before, and that's what I try to do when I write lyrics.
But see, to me, like, even as a lyric writer, you know, that is a sign of a true poet, that you can kind of express yourself. And one of two things end up happening. People, you're so good at what you do, people don't, you know, maybe they recognize what it's about right away, or kind of like what we're talking about with cartoons on television. You listen to a song, and unless they talk to you, they might not know what the song's about, but they have their own interpretation. You might have somebody tell you, you know, hey, that reminds me of my father who just passed away, or my mother, and you're like, that's not what it's about, but hey, if that's what it means to you, great.
That's right, open to interpretation, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
You can have 500 people, and, you know, 100 of most of them will have a different interpretation.
Yeah.
So I think that lends itself to some success, but they sense it's real. They can relate to it. And if you look at these bands like Alice in Chains and Nirvana, you know, and especially with the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam, you know, writing about the pain. And these were young guys, you know. Writing those songs. They had tremendous success. I mean, the music was really good, but the lyrics were important. And I think, unfortunately, in rock and roll, it's kind of currently, I don't see many songwriters really writing about substance.
No, I mean, that's why if you look at all the bands out there, I mean, there's not as many great bands, I think, you know, when we were growing up, because bands from that time, you know, they had great songwriters and people that, you know, really wrote from the heart, but you know, they've got great bands, but like, give you an example, like, probably to me, the last really great band to kind of come out that's kind of full of rock, what I call rock stars, the Dead Daisies. I mean, and they're an interesting band because they kind of constantly have a revolving door of, you know, musicians, but it seems to work. I mean, even the Dead Daisies now, they got, you know, Glenn Hughes, Doug Aldridge, they got all these, Brian Tishy, so, you know, it's kind of like a super group, but
yeah, I mean, John Morabi was fronting it for a while. Bruce Kulick.
Yeah.
And you know, we almost ended up doing a couple tours with them. It just didn't work out. I really wanted to tour with them. I think it would have been a great show.
Maybe one day, but who knows? But, you know, and if you don't mind me asking, I was also your publicist sent me kind of a bio on the band, and it mentioned that on the last album there was a song that you wrote kind of dedicated to your friend Chris Cornell, who I understand was you live right next door to, and that's another guy that, you know, when that news broke, I mean, a lot of people were shocked. I mean, wasn't totally shocked when we heard Kurt Cobain, you know, shot himself, but I think Chris Cornell, a lot more people were kind of, you know.
I was completely, absolutely, totally blown away and shocked when I hear just heard you say his name, my gut wrench.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you never get over things
like that.
Of course
not. Of course.
It becomes a part of who you are. Yeah, I lived next door to him from like 2012 to 2016.
Wow.
And I was very close to him and his brother Peter, you know,
and
his wife Big Vicky, and you know, he loved his children, and he was out. We had a cul-de-sac there in Beverly Hills, and he was out there playing basketball with his son, and always in the pool.
Yeah.
And my youngest daughter would go over there and play with him. But we never talked about music. I mean, he knew who I was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I knew who he was. He knew when we were rehearsing, and he would jam when he knew we weren't. You know, and our walls were so close to each other. So when he was rehearsing for the Storybook tour, I was getting free shows. You know?
Wow.
All we ever talked about were classic cars.
Well, yeah,
he was a great guy, and I loved him dearly. He was a wonderful husband,
father, yeah,
a loving father. And I really question what actually happened to him, because I just find it hard to believe.
Yeah, well,
that he took his life.
I mean,
it makes no sense to me because you know I knew him very well, and it just doesn't make any sense. But again, who knows what's in the mind of anybody? So
yeah,
I got the call from Pete about 3:30 in the morning, and his brother.
Wow.
And I really broke down. I mean, I cried for a few hours.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice now, just even kind of remembering back on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and then, you know, I just sat down and I wrote a song called One Way Ticket, Ode to Chris, which is on our last album, Element 115, and that song was dedicated to him. I sent the lyrics to Victoria and Pete, and they loved it. And, you know, with Pavement's help, you know, hopefully we'll make millions of new fans, and they'll want to go back and explore our 4 previous releases. Because, I mean, you know, we have a lot of really good music and songs
that
have already been released that, you know, people don't really know about except for people that, you know, have been following us.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm aware of who you guys are, and like I said, I remember when the band was first formed. I mean, everybody was checking you guys out. You were all over the place, and so I'm glad that you guys are back. Now, you mentioned your guitar player, Jason Womback. He's kind of the guy you've been probably with the longest. He's like your right-hand man. How did you and him first hook up, and how was that kind of...
Yeah, we started the band together. It was a funny thing.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friend, Tommy Johnson, who's an amazing singer-songwriter, and he was my roommate at the time.
Okay.
And I had a huge sun deck facing, you know, the Griffith Park Observatory in Los Feliz.
Yeah.
And he wanted to build a tiki bar out there. So he enlisted all these guys to work for him. He built this amazing tiki bar. I had a hot tub out there and everything. And, you know, I was single at the time. So it was like quite a bachelor pad, that's for sure. And one of the guys helping him out for extra dough was Jason Womback, who was the bass player for Juliet Lewis and the Licks.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, wow. Okay, so that's where. And was the chemistry you guys seemed to have, like, was it immediately?
It was just absolutely immediate. In the beginning, you know, Tommy tried to convince him to join the band. He liked my vocal. At the time when we started, you know, other people were writing the music and lyrics, and we looked at each other, and I'll never forget it. We were on my patio, and I'm like, what do you really want to do, man?
Yeah.
Because I want to do music full time for life. And I said, so do I. We shook our hand. I fired everybody.
Wow.
And then we wrote an album called Witch's Brew, which was a hodgepodge of all kinds of different things a lot of people don't know about, which is really not Venrez. It was just kind of our release, all different types of genres.
Yeah.
Then we dialed in with the second album, Sell the Lie, and went on to American Illusion, Children of the Drones, which I think was our best release until now.
Yeah,
and then Element 115.
Wow.
And we hired and fired a lot of people, and then, you know,
you guys...
3.5 years ago, I got rid of the rhythm section and brought on Gabe Masca on bass. He's made a big name for himself here on the Strip.
Wow.
And Victor Singer on drums, and the chemistry was through the roof. Now, we started touring, and they were playing songs that were, recorded by other guys, so they were quite intimidated by me and Jason for some reason.
Wow.
Although, eventually, in the last quarter of 2019, they made those songs their own. And we really blew minds. I mean, I brought merch for 24 shows, and we were sold out after 5. People didn't know who we were.
Yeah, see, wow.
We'd been in Europe too much, and they were like, who the hell are you guys? Yes, we made a lot of fans on that tour. We were out with LA Guns, with Tracy Guns.
Wow. It's not, it's not time to end Venrez yet. See, it's time to carry on. And could you imagine doing anybody else besides Jason Womback? I mean, he's really like your Jim Steinman. I mean, you and him, it seems like you got that kind of a chemistry. Just think, I mean, I dare to say if you were to kind of ever get another partner or guitar player, I mean, I really think it would alter the sound,
Well, it would.
Yeah.
But Jason and I do a 2-piece acoustic that's like the gates of heaven open. Him and I live. Singing together with him on an electric acoustic guitar. If you go to YouTube and you look up Love Dance,
okay,
the video Love Dance by Venrez, that's MTV 1990s, stripped down, like Alice in Chains or Nirvana did back in those days. Check that out.
Okay.
And anybody listening to this, Love Dance by Venrez. And, it's magical. We just magically connect. But I do collaborate with other people.
Of course. I mean,
I wrote some really cool stuff with Taylor Heatcraft.
Oh, okay.
Who plays guitar in PowerMan 5000. And we've written a few songs together. I like to collaborate, but, there's no way I would go in any kind of spin-off direction. I'll always work with Jason.
PowerMan 5000, I know I don't know if they still are, but they were another band was one time on Pavement. So, again, just a great roster of artists. I mean, that you just happened to kind of mention here. And I was also reading that you guys were involved in this thing where you played a lot of times down at the Sunset Strip, this thing called Ultimate Jam Night. I know they just kind of got it going again after 2 years, but how did you get hooked up with that?
Our bass player got us into it. Pete Masca was a big part of Ultimate Jams at the Whiskey. I think it was like some kind of sunset Monday night thing going on at the Viper Room.
Initially, I know that
it was pretty much different musicians jamming.
Yeah.
They made an exception, and we went up and did a 3-song set there, which was fun.
Yeah.
We did the Sunset Music Festival in 2013 with Dead Sarah, Offspring, Marilyn Manson. That was an awful lot of fun. We've done some great things. We did the Super Bowl Village show.
Yeah, that's the last thing I was going to ask you about. What was that like? Yeah, and what was that like for you? I mean, a pretty big show, huh?
It was a crazy situation. We were on tour with Fuel.
Okay.
The NFL actually paid us.
Wow.
We were playing a 30-minute set, and they wanted us to do an hour. And so here I am. I hadn't played to more than about 2,000 or 3,000 people, and I walk out on stage to 73,000 people with jumbotrons everywhere. And, we had to add 6 songs that we hadn't played in over a year and a half.
Wow.
And, and we killed it. I was kind of worried whether I'd screw up a lyric here or there. But, once the music got going, the muscle memory came, and we pulled it off. That was a real experience.
It's interesting. And a lot of NFL fans are like hard rock fans, so I could see you guys going over well, and I think it's perfect time for that because, I mean, not that you would not get the same response here in 2022, but what I think is a shame that they've done, the last few years is, sports and stuff used to be very much like music, a way for everybody kind of to unite and get together. Even they're trying to bring politics into sports, but I think it's great that you got to play for that type of an audience,
It was amazing, our opening act were the Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I was awestruck.
I bet, yeah.
And that was one of 2 times in my entire career that I really was nervous and scared before I took the stage.
And when was the other time?
Oh, On the same tour, we got to the Mohegan Sun Casino
Okay. Wow.
in Uncasville, Connecticut, and they didn't tell us until like 3 days before the show that it was acoustic, and the band didn't know any of these acoustic songs. So Jason and I had to go into the Wolf's Den, which is 3,500 people, this sound system that could hear a rat pee from 5 miles away.
Wow.
And I mean, my rear end puckered. And what we did is we went out and did a 20-minute set of all these songs we'd written and played together that we never did with Venrez.
Wow.
And then maybe we do one or two on a radio show we interview. And we just killed that 20-minute set. And it was fun.
Yeah.
To see our band in the audience watching us. Although when I walked out from backstage to take the stage, I got to tell you, man, I was really close to peeing my pants. But once the music started, I got up out of the chair, I pulled the mic out of the three-legged stand, I stood up and delivered, and, I think it was really a great experience.
Yeah, it sounds like. Where do you stand? Like, would you ever consider putting out an unplugged CD?
What CD?
Like, have you ever thought about putting, like you said, you do all these great acoustic shows, and have you ever thought about?
We've already got it. We call it the Godshot Project.
Oh, okay.
And we actually recorded it in 2014 and banked it. It's mixed, mastered, and ready to drop.
Well,
I haven't even told Tim about it at Pavement Records.
Well, yeah, let's get some new stuff out, but that would be something to.
Yeah, it's called Venrez the Godshot Project. 10 tracks of electric acoustic, and it's just me and Jason on everything.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like when Kiss did that Unplugged. That's one thing I loved about their Unplugged. It was great and acoustic, but they actually, like you say, they made it kind of electric acoustic, and it was kind of different than all the other Unplugged things that. Well,
we did it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's just way ahead of its time.
Oh,
and way ahead of our fan base.
Yeah.
Hopefully God will continue the path and we'll blow up.
Yeah.
And, maybe after we release another electric album, maybe 2-3 years down the road, when we've really established a name for ourselves, we'll drop that record.
You've already got it in the can. I mean,
it's
man.
absolutely timeless.
You already got it in the can again.
It's in the can, mixed, mastered, and ready to drop.
I dare say, Ben, maybe, your next full length should strongly consider calling it Devine Intervention, because that's like the third time we've kind of hit on that. And I'll let you go. I could talk to you all day, but the last thing I want to ask you is, as far as you becoming a singer and a songwriter, who are the guys that kind of really influenced you to do what you're doing? The singers that you looked up to.
Well, Jim Morrison, Bob Dylan, and John Lennon, absolutely.
Jim Morrison, I could see it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Jim Morrison for sure. Bob Dylan, John Lennon.
Bob Dylan, I could see. John Lennon.
I shudder to think what John Lennon would be singing about today. Bob Dylan did it.
Yeah.
He really challenged everything in the day. He's not doing it now, and I wonder why.
No, but you know what? Either the point, if you think about it, I think he just turned 80 years old, so that kind of says it right there. But he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. So I could really see you being influenced by a guy like him, or even John Lennon. And it's interesting.
Bob Dylan influenced me the most.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Wow. Well, Ben, I want to thank you taking time to talk to me. Like I said, the interview will be going up this Saturday. I'll let Barbara know. For sure.
Okay, Jason, thank you, man. I really enjoyed the interview. That time went by quickly.
Yeah, let's keep in touch and let's do it again. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.